Hello again, and welcome to another episode of /Roleplay. This is chapter 3 of the D&D campaign, 3.5 edition. And from where we last left off, we were currently resting in the corridor, because we didn't trust the room with the weird, creepy person thingy that was staring at us the entire time. So, when we woke up, we noticed that the door that had the rest area was just gone. And the only thing left in the corridor was the white stone door that was in front of us. So of course, in the typical D&D style, we decided that we were just going to open the door and charge into the room. Well, me being the rogue I was like, I'm not charging in there. I'm just gonna stay right here by the door. You guys can go on in. So as soon as one of the players ended up going inside the room, we noticed that there were a gate, which was sort of like a gate/door, and then there was 3 statues that were on either side of the door and in front of it. So as soon as he walked in the room, there was this cloud of darkness, quite literally darkness, that just kind of emanated from the center of the room. And it completely covered up the gate and the 3 statues. So unfortunately, for me, especially, me being human, I don't have anything that allows me to see, like, in the dark. No dark vision, no nothing. So, I kind of, like, a couple of times peeked my head in this cloud and went, yeah, no, I'm not going in there. Because it was just, like, pitch black. So, it ended up that one of our companions had dark vision, so he could see, like, fine going through here. And then the other one had low light, so he was like, I can kind of see things, but not really. So I was just kind of, like, left to be on the outside of the cloud of darkness, pretty much. And I'm just like, every once in a while I'd poke my head back in and kind of be like, can I see anything? No. So I like heard all the commotion of them fighting what was now the constructs because the statues had come to life, and then they started attacking my fellow companions that were inside this cloud. And often I would get, like, I'd have to do, like, a reflex save because they shot a fireball and it was just, like, right in my direction, and luckily for me I have evasion, so I managed to dodge with no damage all of the magic that was, like, coming out of the cloud. So, my companion, the were-raven, at one point decided that they were just going to try and get through the gate, and was, like, pretty much, like, trying to do strength checks to, like, open the door, and it just wasn't working. They were, like, rolling 8s, 5s, 3s, and it just was like, you are trying to get in the door, but unfortunately it's not budging. While the other person is currently fighting these constructs, and I'm on the outskirts going, hey guys, you okay in there? Everything okay? Because no one would tell me what was going on, or, like, where people were at. So I was just kind of left to my own accord and being like, I'm not going in there. I'm safer out here. So, after the constructs went down, the darkness actually got lifted, and there was one of the stones from, like, the top of the tower that was on the ground. And of course, as soon as we picked up the stone, we put it in the door, and the door opened. And we found ourselves in the mines of Moria. No, not really. But it was kind of like that, where it was just, like, pitch black, and you're like, we don't know how big this room is, or how small this room is, because it's just black. So, like, I'm kind of, like, shuffling behind everyone, like, still, like, touching them to make sure, like, we're in contact, and I'm not, like, wandering off by myself in this darkness. So eventually, at one point, the, halfling, the kobold, yes, kobold, whatever, the short shit, I, like, jumped on his back and was like, I know who you are, so I'm just gonna, like, you're gonna piggyback me and not say anything about this. It was kind of like the Legolas and Gimli type situation where he's like, do you want me to get you a box? It's like, tell no one. So it was kind of that same situation where he, like, chucked him across, and that bonding moment where you're like, shh, this happened this one time, never again. So I, like, jumped on his back and, like, through the darkness was just kind of, like, clinging to him, and out of nowhere, like, we ended up hearing these things that were, like, they sounded like they had, like, really long arms, and they were, like, shuffling towards us. So, of course, at this point, I'm like, I'm just gonna hide, like, right where I'm at. And everyone else went off to, like, fight them. And the were-raven got kind of, like, kidnapped at one point, because he, like, did a grapple check, and he failed the grapple, and the thing just started to, like, drag him away. So, our little tiny but fierce guy was like, don't worry guys, I got this. So he, like, started beating everything up, and then I jumped on his back again and, like, went chasing after our other companion. And then we, like, got, like, ambushed, but of course I didn't know we got ambushed because I can't see anything. But all I knew was that there was this thing that was, like, grappling onto my face. And I'm like, what is going on? So of course, me being me, I'm like, well, I can't see it. I, like, grab onto it and just start stabbing at it. Because, well, now I know where it's at. It's on me. So I'm, like, still holding on, but still, like, trying to, like, maneuver myself to grab it and stab. It was pretty awesome. And then we ended up defeating those guys, and we ended up, like, as soon as we defeated them, like, the lights came on, because the were-raven had the sun rod still. And it gets, like, really bright, and we're, like, in this tiny little, like, circular room, and there's a crystal on the floor. So, of course, as soon as we grabbed the crystal, we ended up getting, like, teleported to the roof. And we, like, are kind of there, and, like, you have the wizard who's, like, pissed at us. We have one of the constructs, and then we have one of the monsters we just fought. So we have to fight them again, but it's in daylight. So of course I'm like, you. So I, like, go charging up to it and, like, try and stab it in the face for 1 damage. So, like, they go down, and the machine that's in the center of the tower, like, starts, like, whirling and making noises, and, like, all sorts of stuff start happening. And the crystals we had were immediately put back into the tower. And the raven, of course, was the only one to actually fail their will save and just, like, I must touch it. I must touch it. So he walked over and, like, he touched it. And as soon as he touched it, like, the world, like, changed around us, and we were in this room. And there was this table in front of us. And there's this old guy that's, like, sitting there. And he's like, I'm here to talk to you guys. Like, thank you for doing this. And, like, I kind of forget exactly what he said, because, like, at this point I'm like, I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm sick, and it was hitting to the point where I'm like, oh dear God, I just need to go to bed. So I don't quite remember what the guy said, but I'm sure Cardinal would be like a recap of it somewhere else, and I'll just be like, yeah, go check out that. That's what the guy said. But yeah, so as soon as he finishes his spiel, like, we all sat down at the table, and we, like, the world rotates again, but except for it not rotating, we just kind of, like, wake up, and we're in an inn. And there's, like, food and, like, beer in front of us. And we're just like, what the hell is going on? Like, all of our stuff is still with us, but we just, like, woke up in this inn. And the barmaid's like, is there anything I can help you with? And we're just like, So, of course, the first thing I say is, where are we? And I'm like, do you know how long we've been here? And she's like, oh, you walked in about, like, an hour or so ago. You guys just sat down, and you were quiet ever since. And I was just like, So, like, that was, like, the end of the campaign, that series of adventures. We were just like, what is going on? How did we get here? Where did we come from? Who do what? And, like, so the next game is going to be us, like, trying to figure out, like, what happened to us and stuff like that. And because, like, we hit, like, so many time paradoxes, we're, like, not sure, like, what's going on. So it should be interesting, the next game, because we're going to try and figure out, like, what happened to us. But, yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. Rumors from the DM is we probably will do some sort of, like, prison break as, like, our next adventure, which I'm like, ooh, are we going to Alcatraz? Because this will be awesome. And then I'm like, the first thing I thought of was, like, I have the secret chest, which you can make it disappear and go to, like, the astral plane, but there's, like, a 5% chance that it won't come back and you'll lose everything in it. So I'm like, I'm only gonna do that in, like, emergency situations. So I'm like, what if, like, we get captured? I'm just gonna, like, strip down all of my stuff, put it in, like, the box, send the box away, and then when we get, like, back to the prison, I can just get all my shit. I'm like, yes, this will be amazing. So, hopefully, cross my fingers. I told the DM this, so of course, something's gonna happen that I can't get my box back. I know it. So, I know it's gonna happen. Oh. But, of course, my character doesn't know that it's gonna happen, so. And I'm a huge player when it comes down to, like, no metagaming. If you're role-playing it, you're role-playing it to your character. Like, what you know is not what your character knows, like. So, even though I probably know the fact that there's just gonna be something that goes wrong, my character doesn't know. She's gonna think it's a huge, like, great idea. And then she's just gonna be like, oh, shit, guys, I thought this was gonna work. So, we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But, so yeah, that was like the end of our adventure, and we ended up leveling up. So we're now level 5. Well, I'm level 5. A couple people have, like, level adjustments, so I think they're, like, 2 or 3 as well. But we're all roughly about the same experience level. So, I get to go update my character. So, I'm kind of excited. Because I'm like, ooh, level 6, I get another, like, feat. And this is going to be awesome. So, but yeah. So, once again, hopefully you guys enjoyed this recap. I know Carthnell has been putting up the game sessions on his YouTube account. So if you go to YouTube and you type in Carthnell, I'm going to attempt to spell this right now. I'm going to write it down first and then just be like... Okay, so his name is Karthnal. So, Carthnal. Or you can, like, try and find, like, D&D 3.5. I think that it's, like, Over the Edge or something like that, which was the campaign name. But, I'm also following him, so if you can go through, like, who I'm following. But yeah, so hopefully you guys can check out those and actually see what the gameplay sessions were like. And I shall see you again. Hopefully I'm feeling better the next time I talk to you. And have a good day. Or a good rest of the week. So, see you later.